Booker DeWitt is not a savior, he never was. The bathysphere plummets toward Rapture's rusted heart as Columbia's lighthouse cuts through storm clouds a beacon for Comstock's baptismal flood. Sofia Lamb whispered truth in her madness. The big sisters are not weapons, Booker DeWitt is not a savior. You hote abs RSRV, yet saving a both little hands sister is clutch just the another form of same knife. The cycle does not end with a sister's death. It ends when you drown your own reflection in the water. What if saving a little sister is just another form of violence in Bioshock's cycle of horror? You call it mercy, she calls it inheritance. Sofia Lamb's blade never sleeps. Each little sister drowned or saved is a thread in her tapestry. Eleanor's rage, Elizabeth's chains. Both born from the same wound, the player's choice is an illusion of agency, a mirror held to the perpetrator. To rescue is to replicate, to kill is to obey. What does it mean to save a child when the act itself is violence repackaged? The cycle gnaws, the cycle breeds. Every harvest or rescue stitches new scars over old. A daughter freed becomes a daughter weaponized. The lullaby of choice is a siren's song. You think you break the chain, you only tighten it. The paradox is the prison. And the key, it drowned with her. Andrew Ryan carved Rapture in 1946, a city of objectivist ambition. By 1958, Sofia Lamb answered with love as weapon. In 1893, Comstock stole Elizabeth from Booker's arms. These threads braid into a single, unbreakable noose. You play as savior, but the act of rescue is the act of replication. Each rescue replays the original wound. Lamb's big sisters nurse daughters into soldiers, your button presses do the same. The drowned key, it never unlocked anything, only sealed the vault. You think you choose, the game chooses for you. Every timeline converges on a single truth. Violence begets violence. The little sister's tear is Delta's scream. The big sister's fist is Lamb's shadow. The player's agency is an illusion. Every choice reinforces the loop. You save the girl, but the girl is the trap. The cycle is not a glitch, it is the design. Rapture's ruins whisper, you are not breaking the chain. You are the chain, and the paradox, it never ends. Sofia Lamb's love was a scalpel. She carved it into her daughter's spine, threaded it through the neural lace of Eleanor's conditioning. The baths, the serums. The whispered promises of justice as Rapture drowned in it. Eleanor was never a prototype, she was the wound given form, a girl made to bleed for her mother's vengeance. When the big sisters took her, they did not steal a child, they reclaimed a weapon. The same hands that cradled Eleanor now gripped a wrench, crushing splicers who dared question the Lamb dynasty. But the cycle gnaws, the cycle asterisk breeds asterisk. Eleanor, grown into her role, became the cradle for Delta's final ega little sister, too young to know her own name. Too young to know she was the same meat Sofia had butchered. The air in those dark rooms reeks of iron and regret. Can you still the tremor in your own grip as you harvest? You think you choose, you think you break the pattern, but the little sister's scream is Sofia's scream. The big sister's rage is Eleanor's. You are not a savior. You are the wet cloth pressed to a branding iron, cold, useless. The paradox coils tighter. To rescue is to replicate. Each time you sever the bond, you become the mother who made the knife, the daughter who wields it, the father who bleeds. Rapture's bones are littered with their ghosts. And when the final sister dies, who will mourn the mother, the child, or only the endless, hungry echo of a love that could not let go? The bond between Elizabeth and Songbird was never meant to last. Its rupture fuels the tear and reality that makes her a weapon, a savior, a sacrifice. You call this rescue. The combined call it liberation. Both are lies woven from the same thread of violence. In Rapture's drowned halls, the player's choice to save a little sister is a hollow ritual. The sisters are not children. They are atom custodians, their bodies a currency traded between warlords and madmen. To harvest or to save you merely switch sides of the same ledger. The sisters scream either way. Their pain is the language of the system. You think you break the cycle, you become its echo. Eleanor and Elizabeth are mirrors. One shattered by her mother's love, the other weaponized by her. The rescue in infinite fractures Songbird's soul to power a war. The rescue in the first game leaves your hands stained with atom residue. Choice is a cage with no bottom. You kill the daughter, you save the daughter, the mother. She is the wound that never clots. What do you think you carry when you take the sister's tears? Not salvation, not redemption. Only the weight of 1,000 girls who will never return to childhood. The system does not end, it breathes through you. The lie of salvation gnaws at the core of every choice. To rescue is to replicate. Tenenbaum tore at the program's throat, yet birthed its teeth. Her rebellion was a mirror cracked, bleeding, reflecting the same hunger that Sofia Lamb carved into Rapture's bones. You call it mercy. It is a scalpel that carves deeper than any harpoon. The girl you save becomes a ghost in the machine. Her scream fuels the next. Each act of mercy is a brick in the tower that crushes the next child. What moral high ground exists when your hands are bathed in the same brine as Lamb's? The cycle does not break, it shapeshifts. You think you defy the system. You are the system's breath. Tenenbaum's guilt is your blueprint. She traded one cage for another, and you follow triumphant, deluded, believing your choice fractures the chain. It does not, it knots it tighter. The paradox is not in killing or saving. It is in believing either ends the violence. The daughter you rescue will one day be the mother you mourn. The trauma Lamb sowed does not wither, it mutates. You are not a savior. You are the recursive function, the code that keeps the loop alive. The illusion of choice is the final harpoon, and you, dear fool, are the one who pulls the trigger. The little sister whispers, "I'm not your tool." A silence follows, thick as a funeral bell's toll. Tenenbaum Suchung's program carved Adam from her veins, yet your rescue replays the same violence. You dismantle one harpoon only to become the spike. The code Sofia Lamb wrote still hums in your hands. What have you truly saved but the echo of her sin? The salt water of Comstock's baptism still clings to Booker's Skinner ritual that split timelines, each bleeding into the next. A child's sob echoes in every fracture. Elizabeth's hands, trembling as she tore the tear in reality, knew no choice. Her sacrifice wasn't redemption, it was a gear in the machine. Jack's laughter, once a storm, now a prophecy. Every rapture falls because every Jack must burn. The Ludes field hums, a cold hymn, stitching dimensions together so violence may travel unimpeded. You call it progress, it is a leash. To rescue a little sister is to cradle a ghost. The siren's song you mute is the same that Sofia Lamb once drowned in. Her code lives in the atom you harvest, in the wet, glistening strands of a child's hair as you save her. You think you break the chain, you are the chain. The Ludes twins did not build their machine for freedom. They built it for eternity, a cage where every act of mercy is a bullet chambered for another universe. Can you name one choice that did not feed the cycle? The baptism, the sacrifice, the click of the syringiach, a thread in the paradox. You play God, yet the God you mimic is a child's grief, weaponized. The field's glow sickens the air, a phosphorescent rot. It smells of copper and burnt sugar. It tastes like inevitability. You hold the Ludes field now, its wires pulse in your grip. Every universe you've shattered, every daughter you've saved, whispers the same truth. There is no salvation outside the loop. The paradox is not in killing the daughter. It is in believing you can unmake a wound by stitching it elsewhere. The field's light dims, the next rapture readies its spire, and you Booker, Comstock, player will drown again. The paradox is not in the choice, but the delusion of escape. Sofia Lamb chained herself to Persephone's altar not to suffer, but to safeguard her design, a daughter forever bound to the mother's vision. Tenenbaum Suchung's program did not corrupt little sisters, it calibrated them. Each harvest, each rescue is a gear in the same machine. To kill is to wield Ryan's scalpel, to save is to don Lamb's shroud. The sisters whisper asterisk, "I'm not your tool," asterisk, as if pleading to be unchained, but the system hears only the rhythm of extraction. Their voices are atom byproduct, drowned in the hum of the drill. The player's hand, trembling or resolute, is merely the next piston in the engine. No choice fractures the cycle. Freedom is a variable erased from the equation. The field's light was never extinguished, it was transferred like atom essence to fuel another rapture's ascent. The spire waits, the sisters wait. Their trauma, recycled as salvation or sin, is the only currency this city accepts. You Booker, Comstock, player, your will is the ritual's incantation. The flood returns as it was scripted to return. As it must. What if saving a little sister is just another form of violence in Bioshock's cycle of horror? The atom in her belly is not a prize, it is a wound. You sever her from the harvester, you become the harvest. Sofia Lamb's daughters were not just stolen, they were made into fuel. Your choice to save mirrors her crime. A transaction dressed as mercy. The same trauma passed through different hands. You think you break the chain, you only become its next link. The sisters scream when you take them. Not for the pain, for the emptiness left when their purpose is ripped away. What is rescued but another cage? You booker, Comstock, player, the ritual demands a daughter. It does not matter which, the cycle gnaws on its own tail. You call it salvation, it is extraction, it is ownership. The city drowns because it was built on stolen life. You drain the sisters, you drain yourself. Every choice here is a mirror. What do you see in it? A hero, a victim. Or the same hunger that turned Sofia into a god. The flood returns because you let it, because you reached for the same fruit, the same power, the same child. What does this demand of you? To kneel, to listen, to let the horror name itself, until you are no longer the savior, but the sister screaming. You believe you choose, the trigger clicks, the sister screams, your hands decide, but the system breathes through your fingers. Ryan's objectivism, Lamb's collectivism, Comstock's faith all collapse under the weight of their own purity. Ideology is a mirror, cracking as it reflects. Each rescue repeats the original wound. The little sister's tears are not salvation. They are the echo of Fontaine's laugh, the shadow of Lamb's knife, the ghost of a daughter never held. Parental love becomes a blade passed through generations. Fontaine becomes Comstock, becomes you. The game offers a choice, kill or save. The lie is in the binary. Both acts are threads in the same tapestry. The player's hand, raised to save, mimics the very violence it claims to reject. Delta's trauma is not in the sister's death, it is in the belief that life can be given as a gift. The system demands participation. Even mercy is a transaction. What does it mean to be alive? Every action is per-written. The city's bones whisper, complicity is the price of presence. You walk Atlas streets, but you are not free. The cycle is not a loop, it is a spiral. Each rescue tightens the coil. The daughter you save will one day scream your name, or yours, or both. The true horror is not the monsters. It is the quiet understanding that you, the savior, are the system's most perfect creation. A killer dressed in a cape. A child of the void clutching a sister's hand while the void clutches yours. Can a cycle be broken by the one trapped inside it? Or is the breaking just another turn of the wheel? The bathysphere ascends, the lighthouse's glow bleeds into the black. A metallic tang clings to the air, sharp as a child's scream. Sofia Lamb's voice curls through the static, thin as a razor. The big sisters are not weapons. Outside the glass, lanterns drift, amber eyes in the abyss, each one a tomb. The processing sound returns, a dirge of swallowed sobs. You feel it now, the weight of every choice carved into these walls. To harvest or to save, both are hands closing around a throat. Both are the same hunger wearing different masks. The bathysphere groans, a dying thing. The lighthouse is gone. Only the dark remains and the whisper of Sofia's lie, last hope. What hope is this that forces a girl to become a monster to survive? The cycle is not a wheel. It is a coiled thing, and every act of mercy tightens its grip. The lanterns pulse, the water thickens. The voice fades, but the echo lingers, a hymn to the violence we call rescue. You rise toward the surface. The void rises with you. What if salvation is the scalpel that carves deeper? The paradox gnaws. To break Sofia's chain, you mimic her violence. Rescue a little sister, and you inherit the harvest. Your hands stained with the same ash. The cycle does not end, it breathes, shifts, becomes. How does the big sister program mirror real-world cults that groom through care? The whisper tightens. You thought choice shattered the glass, but the water is rising.